Hey everyone, I'm going to be sharing a story about my life that I probably never told anyone ever before. I grew up without my dad. I moved from Florida with my mom to California when I was about 4 to 5 years old, and I have very few memories of actually spending time with my father. And early on in life, that was really difficult for me, and I put a lot of blame and a lot of ill will towards other places in my life growing up just because of that missing component. I think back, and really the only fond memory of I have of my dad is actually him being upset with me for not turning the faucet off all the way in the bathroom. And so those kind of things really created some turmoil inside of my life and created a very difficult path for me to be able to navigate things and look at other people and maybe even feel sorry for myself. But I got to a point where I was in high school and I went to go visit my dad, and it was pretty eye opening in the sense that that's where I really learned like forgiveness and acceptance to what my situation was. And at that point in time, I stopped feeling sorry for myself and I started putting things into action. And the reason I'm sharing this is because that lack of experience with my father actually has led me to be a better dad. It's actually led me to be a better person and a better mentor for others, because growing up, I had to get a lot of valuable lessons from my friends' dads. I had to make sure that I took advantage of these time with these other men to be able to learn what it was to be a man. And so from that, I realized that sometimes I might be a father figure to other people, and I have to understand that, whether I realize it or not. And sometimes I don't even get that choice to decide whether I'm going to be a father figure to somebody. So, what that's helped me is understand patience and the value of patience, also awareness, self awareness, because there's things that I might say and do, and I have no idea what kind of impact that might have on my own kids and other people that might look up to me. And so from that point on, I've been very conscientious about how I communicate with my kids. I've been very, open with my kids, showing them, vulnerabilities, and they've seen me cry, they've seen me sad, they've seen me happy, and I make it a point to not hide anything from them so that they can have those experiences with me, and that's something that can help them be better men. Because ultimately, my goal is to be able to give them so much that they can take into their own lives, because there's going to be a time and place where I'm not going to be with them or be able to help guide them or protect them. And hopefully, I instill these values in them so that they can take them into their own lives and be, have their own family and be leaders of their own. So, just because you don't have your dad in your life, or you've grown up without your dad, or there's been a kind of a turmoil type of environment or situation, it doesn't mean that you can't be the best man you could possibly be. It doesn't mean that you need to blame them, because ultimately everybody has situations that they're dealing with, and I can't cast those feelings that I used to have onto other people. And so that's kind of what I've learned through that journey. My recommendation for any young man that's going through life and they probably didn't have their father in their life, or there's probably in and out relationship, or you don't feel that there's a strong connection, I would definitely recommend reaching out to other people. It doesn't mean that you're going to take on the identity or replace your father, but what you're trying to do is trying to find good qualities and values from others that's going to help you and maybe fill those voids and give you a sense of calm and peace. Because what I found is that sometimes we can blame other people for things, but at the end of the day, they have their own things that they're dealing with. So, advice I would give for anybody that's maybe even in a relationship or works with somebody that didn't grow up with a father, and you can kind of see that and you guys are starting to get close, I would definitely recommend or advise that you're just patient and just understand that there are gaps in terms of like an emotional support that might not be there. And sometimes we don't always understand those things, and we have to make sure that we're at a place in our lives where we can kind of take a step back and realize that these people might need support in different areas that you might not need the support in. A message for my dad is I love you, and even though we didn't have much of a relationship, I definitely appreciate the things that you did do for me and the moments that we did share and that I can take from you and be able to apply in my life. And I hope nothing but peace for you. And the message for my kids about fatherhood is make sure that you're as patient as you possibly can, and make sure that you're slow to react and be very, very in tune with who they are as individuals, because every kid's different. You know, all three of my kids are three totally different individuals, and they have three different qualities and defaults and things that they're not good at. And make sure that you take whatever your son or daughter is good at and you just support it and you foster it, and you try to make sure that you know that it's, you know, you see that in them and reinforce that and just try to support them in any way you possibly can. So if you have any father figures or anybody that you see as a father figure or a mentor or somebody that provides that for you in your life, one way you can give back to them is just let them know that you care for them. Let them know, you know, the value they have in your life, because just that alone is enough. A lot of times, you know, one thing I'm starting to think about as I get older is we plant seeds, and sometimes we never see the fruits of that labor. We never see those things come to fruition. And so just to hear it and just be aware of it, because sometimes we go through life and we're just not oblivious to the impact we have on people. So if is somebody in your life that is playing that father figure role, or at least at some point in time you've seen as a father figure, just let them know that you care about them and that, you know, you value the impact they had in your life.